Okay, today we are going to talk about ratio. Before starting ratio, let us first understand why do we need the ratio. Suppose there are two numbers, say 6 and 3. Now, when I try to compare these two numbers 6 and 3, there are basically two ways to compare them. The number one is, I can say that 6 is 3 more than 3, and the other way is, I can say that 6 is twice of 3. Now, in the first one, when I'm saying that 6 is 3 more than 3, how do I get this? This is basically 6 less 3 is 3. And in the second one, I have to actually divide this 6 by 3 to get 2 or 2 times. Now, in the first one, in the first example, what I'm doing is I'm comparing by the subtraction. I'm subtracting the two numbers to get the comparison, and in the second one I'm dividing the two numbers to get the comparison. Now the second example is of ratio, so I can say that ratio is comparison of two quantities by division. So in simple words I can say that the ratio is comparison by division. Okay, now how to write the ratio? There are three ways to write a ratio, and we will understand them by help of some examples. So let's take the examples, and the number one I have is, say, write the ratio for, and the numbers I have is, say, 4 to 12. Now when I have to write the ratio for 4 to 12, the simplest way to do is I just write the 4 and 12 making a fraction like 4 over 12. I simply reduce them because they can both be divided by a common number, that is 4. So I divide 4 by 4 and 12 by 4 to get 1 over 3. So this 1 over 3 is my ratio, or I can write this as 1 over 3, or 1, put a colon sign between 1 and 3. If this is written as 1 is to 3, or I can simply say that 1 to 3. Now here I read the colon as 2. These are the three ways in which I can write a ratio. Now instead of having 4 to 12, if I would have 12 to 4, then would the ratio be same, 1 to 3? Let us just see. In the previous example I had 4 to 12, so I get the answer as 1 to 3. But if I have 12 to 4, then I find the ratio as 12 over 4. I reduce this fraction to get 3 over 1, and this will be written as the ratio as 3 is to 1. So 1 is to 3 and 3 is to 2 are the two different things, not the same thing. So the order does matters while calculating the ratios. So 4 to 12 and 12 to 4 are two different things. Now let us take another example in which I need to find the ratio for, say, two any quantities like 21 miles to 35 miles. Now it's very simple to write 21 over 35, that both can be simplified by 7 to get the answer as 3 over 5. So my ratio is either 3 over 5 or 3 is to 5, or I can simply write that as 3 to 5. Now one thing to be noticed over here is that the ratio is a unitless quantity. The ratio don't have any units. You can see that I was given the quantities as 21 miles to 35 miles, but I write the answer as 3 to 5 and not 3 to 5 miles. Okay, so here comes another important thing, that is, let's take the example to understand that. Suppose I need to find the ratio for, say, 4 days to 2 weeks. Now I can see that I have one of the quantities as the 4 days and the other quantity is 2 weeks. So basically the thing is that I cannot proceed in this way, because the ratios have to be of these similar quantities. Here the quantities are different. One of them is the days and the other one is the weeks. So what I do is I just change the 2 weeks into the days. So 2 weeks equals 14 days. Now I can find the ratio for 4 days to 14 days. That would be 2 over 7, or I can simply say that 2 is to 7. So the basic important thing is that the ratio is a comparison by division, and the ratio is always calculated. Thing is that the ratio is a comparison by division. In the next session